To get right into it, I think the number one most important thing that makes a house or an apartment or a van or a tent or whatever feel like home is genuinely feeling safe in your body, mind, and heart. Infuriatingly enough, this isn't a realistic option for a lot of people, specifically marginalized folks who are statistically more likely to be targeted by cops and just society in general, which is why the rest of this list is so important. If you haven't experienced this yourself firsthand, believe me when I say that our environments can have a massive impact on our well-being. If you've ever been in a hospital versus a dimly lit restaurant, you'll know what I'm talking about. Although I do want to be clear that not everyone will experience these two places the same. You're probably assuming that because I'm a designer I prefer cozy lighting and warm textures, but they each have their specific purpose. A good friend of mine who passed away from MS during COVID found it incredibly hard to keep his balance in dim lighting. So this is just a gentle reminder that not everyone will value the same things in their home design, and that we shouldn't judge the decisions that others make too harshly, especially when we're all just strangers on the internet. Anyways, that little tangent aside, my name is Medora Kia, I use they, them pronouns, and I make videos about home design. So let's get into my list of 10 things that make a space feel like home. Number 1 is real art. I'm not talking about shit from Target or Wayfair. I'm talking about interesting, one-of-a-kind stuff that really speaks to you, and not to be cheesy, but genuinely lights your soul on fire. Something that you see and you're like, yes, that is me. I see myself in that. I see others in that. I see...
The constant state of the universe is sacred change and holy movement, and perfect chaos in communion with the grief from the immense destruction and greed and disconnect from the planet showing its hand during this particularly strange moment in time.
If you've got a healthy budget for this, support your local and independent artists, and if you've only got $10 or $20 like me, just keep an eye out at thrift stores, flea markets, and estate sales for anything that catches your eye. And also, don't be afraid to haggle. A couple of my favorite pieces I've actually gotten from thrift stores, and I brought it up to the register, and for one of them, I said, there's a hole in the canvas. Is there any way we could drop the price, considering all of the rest of the frames are $3 to $5, and this one is $15. And so they brought the manager over, and they gave it to me for $7. And another one didn't even have a frame on it. It was literally just paint on a piece of cardboard. And I was like, this piece is marked at $40. Is there anything that can be done about that? I ended up getting that for $15. And the important part is just to be kind, not to expect anything, and know what you're willing to pay for it. Number 2 is books. There's just something about a full bookshelf, or even just a few books on your nightstand, that can't be replicated by anything else. I also recommend actually reading them. I don't know about you, but I was the kid who got in trouble for reading in class, and then school ruined books for me, and so now I don't read anymore. I would love to get back into that, but in the meantime, a wall full of books is just such a vibe. If you do realistically know yourself and you know that, at least right now, you're not going to be reading the books, at least try to find books on topics that you are actually interested in. Number 3 is living plants instead of fake plants. I am one of those designers who can excuse a fake plant in certain contexts, especially when it was intentionally chosen and it's very convincing and you'll keep it for years, if not decades. But there's just a certain energy in living plants, probably the aliveness, that you can't get from fake plants. And while we're on this topic, I want to remind people that plants are not just home decor. Plants are living, breathing things. So if you take care of them, they will take care of you. And I know some people still think it's a woo-woo topic or whatever, but trees give out energy, plants give out energy. And I haven't experienced this myself, but some people talk to plants, and sometimes the plants talk back. And this is a real thing. There is real science behind it. If I can find that study, I'll link it below. The 4th thing that makes a space feel like home is having a creative project that you're working on. This is really the thing that takes a home from surviving to thriving. And creative doesn't have to mean artsy. Maybe you're perfecting a cookie recipe or trying to solve the world's most impossible math problem. Again, just like the art, what sets your soul on fire? And if you don't know yet, that's okay. This stuff takes time. Just try to focus on what feels good in your body right now. Maybe that's doodling in the margins of your notebook or dancing to your favorite music at 2 a.m. There is no wrong answer here. Number 5 is a full utensil crock next to the stove. Preferably only wood and metal and natural materials, but really whatever you love and use on a daily basis. Preparing food is one of the most universal, ancient things that connects all of humanity across time and space. And I really love a full utensil crock as a reminder of that. Number 6 is some form of warmth, whether it's from natural light, indirect lighting, warm light bulbs, orange lampshades, a wall color that has warm undertones, and even warm sweaters and blankets. Obviously, the extent to which you want this in your home will kind of depend on where you live geographically, because if you live somewhere where it gets rather warm, obviously you don't want a ton of warmth. But anything that feels warm, regardless of how it impacts your bodily temperature, is great. We're going for more of an emotion or a vibe here rather than physical warmth. Number 7 is something that is really old or sentimental or tells a story or makes you feel connected to your ancestors. I've got this old tablecloth that my great-great-grandmother crocheted, and sometimes I'll just wear it over my shoulders as if all of my ancestors are holding me and reminding me that everything's going to be okay. But also, it doesn't matter if it's something from a blood relative. I really love having old photos or painted portraits of random people from the past and imagining what their lives could have looked like. And of course, bonus points if I can write a story in my head about them that's extra gay, because I like to be reminded that I have a broader community of queer ancestors too, not just whoever's listed on my Ancestry.com profile. Number 8 is real textiles and real materials in general. Fake wood grain that's printed onto laminate will just never feel as homey as real wood. And for textiles, when I say real, I mean natural fibers. So wool, cotton, jute, hemp, and linen. A good exercise that I like to do is going into any sort of thrift store or fabric store where you can see the labels on the thing and you can see 100% linen, 80% wool, 20% nylon, whatever, and you feel the fabrics, and over time you start to get a sense of what different fabrics feel like. This is really helpful, for example, when you're out at a thrift store, maybe you're looking at the tablecloths and there isn't a tag on it. If you can feel that it's linen, then you know that that's going to be something that is good quality that will last you a long time. Whereas something that's polyester will probably start to pill and look bad pretty quickly. Number 9 is any form of movement. So whether that's moving your body, moving the air around with a fan or by opening your windows, or rearranging your furniture and decor every once in a while. Change is good, even when it feels scary or overwhelming sometimes. And last but not least, number 10 is a reasonably balanced ratio of chaos to calm. Balanced in this case doesn't mean 50-50, it just means whatever amount feels manageable to you. Maybe tidying up every single day is overwhelming, so you keep a clutter bin and deal with that stuff every week or month or whatever. Maybe you have a really jarring wallpaper in your bathroom that you love, but it's really intense and overwhelming. So you choose a misty eggshell blue and just color drench your entire bedroom in that. Maybe you found a bold red striped upholstery fabric for your couch. So you pick a modern couch with simple, clean lines. It's all about balance. And that's the list. If there's anything you think I missed, let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear what makes your space feel like home to you. See you in the next video.